My dear friend, sit yourself down and grab a cup of tea, because today I've got a story for you that could make the difference between feeling old and tired or strong enough to dance in your living room at midnight. You know me, I'm 80 years old, and I've got more years behind me than ahead, but I'll be damned if I'm going to waste these golden years hobbling around like a rusty shopping cart. And one of the biggest secrets to feeling alive after 60? The food we put on our plates, especially the meat we eat or avoid. You see, back in my younger days, I thought food was just fuel. If it filled the belly, it was good enough. Didn't matter if it was fried chicken dripping with oil or a big fat steak seared so hard it could break your dentures. But age has a funny way of teaching you lessons, whether you want to learn them or not. By the time I hit 70, my doctor gave me that dreaded stare. You know, the kind that says, "You're not invincible, Paul." Blood pressure up, cholesterol higher than the rent in New York, and my knees screaming louder than a toddler at the candy aisle. That's when I realized food isn't just fuel. It's either medicine or poison. Now, before I get too deep, let me warn you. This isn't going to be one of those boring health lectures where I read off a list like a school teacher. No. This is me, Paul, talking to you like the friend you are. We're going to laugh, shake our heads, maybe even tear up a little. But at the end, I promise you'll look at your plate differently. And since the topic today is meat, let's get straight to it. There are 4 meats you should avoid like the plague, and 4 that should be your daily companions if you want to stay healthy, strong, and maybe even outlive your enemies. Because what's sweeter than that? All right, let's start with the bad boys first. The 4 worst meats seniors like us should steer clear of. Number 1, processed meats. Oh, friend, these are the worst culprits. I'm talking hot dogs, sausages, bacon, deli meats, all those things that taste so good on a Sunday morning but sneak into your body like villains in disguise. Now, I won't lie, I love bacon. The smell alone could make me leap out of bed faster than the lottery man knocking on my door. But here's the ugly truth. Those meats are loaded with sodium, nitrates, and chemicals that don't just raise your blood pressure, they're linked to cancer. Yeah, cancer. Every time you pile a hot dog onto your plate, you're taking a gamble you don't want to play. I know it's hard, especially when you got grandkids begging for hot dogs at the cookout. But trust me, you can love them without poisoning yourself. Number 2, fried chicken. Now I know this one hurts. Fried chicken is like an old friend who betrays you. Crispy, golden, juicy, it's comfort food at its finest. But the problem is the frying. All that oil clogs your arteries like hair in a bathroom drain. And at our age, clogged arteries don't just mean a little fatigue. They mean heart attacks, strokes, and a ticket to the emergency room. I used to sneak fried chicken when my wife wasn't looking, but I'll never forget the day I had chest pain so bad I thought I'd seen my last football game. Turns out, it was my heart begging me to quit playing games with it. So now when I crave chicken, I bake it or grill it. Same bird, better outcome. Number 3, red meats, especially the fatty cuts. You know the kind, ribeye, T-bone, brisket, anything marbled with fat like a piece of artwork? Delicious, yes. Deadly, also yes. These meats are high in saturated fat, and at our age, our bodies just can't process it the way they used to. I had a buddy, George, who swore by his steak dinners 3 nights a week. One day, he didn't show up to our chess game. By the evening, I learned he had a heart attack. He survived, thank God, but he had to give up steak cold turkey. And let me tell you, if you wait until the doctor bans you from it, the craving becomes torture. Better to cut down now while you still have the choice. Number 4, fast food meats. Burgers, nuggets, mystery meat patties. Let's be real, none of us actually knows what's in them. They say 100% beef, but who's checking? Half the time, those patties are stuffed with fillers, grease, and more salt than the ocean. Every bite takes you a step closer to diabetes, high blood pressure, and enough regret to last a lifetime. And don't you get me started on the size of those portions. Back in the day, a burger fit in your hand. Now they stack them so high you need an engineer to figure out how to take a bite. Our stomachs don't need that mountain, friend, especially when digestion is already slower than traffic on a Friday afternoon. Now don't panic. I'm not saying you have to give up all joy in life. What I am saying is you can swap these meats out for better, healthier choices that don't just keep you alive, but make you feel alive. Because listen, being 60 or 80 doesn't mean you stop enjoying food. It just means you get smarter about what goes on your fork. So let's flip the plate and talk about the 4 meats you should eat daily, or at least as often as you can. First up, chicken breast. Lean, packed with protein, and versatile enough to go in salads, soups, or grilled on its own. It gives you strength without the artery-clogging fats. You want muscles that don't sag too much at 80? This is your friend. Second, turkey. Not just for Thanksgiving, my dear. Turkey is another lean protein that helps you feel full without weighing you down. I make turkey chili sometimes, and my neighbors swear it tastes better than beef. Plus, it's easier to digest, and at our age, digestion is king. Trust me, you don't want to spend the night battling heartburn. That's not romance, that's misery. Third, fish. Oh, fish is a miracle food. Salmon, mackerel, sardines. These guys are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, the kind that keep your brain sharp and your heart happy. I eat salmon twice a week, and I swear it's the reason I still beat my grandson at chess. He thinks I'm lucky. No, kid, it's the salmon. If you want to protect your memory and maybe even dance at your great-granddaughter's wedding, fish should be on your plate. Fourth, lean cuts of pork. Now this one surprises people. Pork has a bad reputation, but if you pick the lean cuts, like tenderloin, it's actually pretty healthy. Lots of protein, less fat, and packed with vitamins like thiamine, which helps with energy. My daughter used to scold me for eating pork until I showed her the numbers. Now she serves pork tenderloin once a week, and the whole family devours it. Just stay away from bacon, ham, and sausages, and you're good. Friend, I know it's not easy changing the way we eat. Food is tied to our memories, our comfort, our culture. But at this age, we've got to ask ourselves, do we want a moment of pleasure or more years of good living? I'd choose years any day, because years mean more laughs, more stories, more time with the people we love. And isn't that the real feast? Now, before we go on, let me just pause here and remind our dear listeners, if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You see, when you do that, it's like pulling up a chair at this kitchen table with us every time. We've got so many more stories and tips to share, and I don't want you missing out. So click that little button and let's keep walking this journey together. All right, where were we? Yes, let me tell you a little story about how these swaps changed my life.
So, as I was saying, these swaps, choosing the right meats and avoiding the wrong ones, literally gave me a new lease on life. Let me paint you a picture. I was 72, feeling sluggish, couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without my knees groaning like an old rocking chair. My doctor said, "Paul, you've got to change the way you eat or you'll spend your last years in a hospital bed." That scared me more than anything. I don't mind dying, but I sure as hell don't want to live hooked up to tubes and machines, unable to taste food or tell stories like this. That's not life, that's surviving, and I want to live. So I did something most old men hate doing. I changed. I swapped the bacon for turkey slices, the steak for grilled salmon, and fried chicken for baked chicken breast. At first, I grumbled. I thought, life's too short for this nonsense. But then something strange happened. My energy came back. I started sleeping better. Even my memory sharpened. My daughter, bless her, said, "Dad, you don't forget my birthday anymore." I told her, "That's the fish, honey, not me." Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy. You don't just forget the taste of sizzling bacon or a greasy cheeseburger. But every time I felt tempted, I thought about the people I loved. My granddaughter asked me once, "Grandpa, will you be there at my graduation?" And I realized if I wanted to say yes and mean it, I had to make better choices. Because, friend, food isn't just about you. It's about everyone who loves you. Every healthy bite you take is a promise to them. I'll be here a little longer. And let me tell you, at 80, that's priceless. Now let's go back to those 4 bad meats, because I've got stories that will make you laugh, maybe cry, and definitely think twice before your next grocery trip. Processed meats. I told you about bacon, but let me tell you about sausages. My neighbor Henry used to grill sausages every Saturday. The smell would waft over the fence, and I'd sneak a bite. One day, his wife caught me red-handed. She wagged a finger at me and said, "Paul, those things will kill you faster than my cooking." I laughed it off, but a year later, Henry ended up with colon cancer. Now, I'm not saying sausages caused it, but the doctors warned him years before to cut them out. Did he listen? No. He loved them too much. I visited him in the hospital, and he looked at me and said, "Paul, don't make the same mistake I did." That stuck with me. As for fried chicken, oh boy, that was my weakness. I used to sneak into the kitchen late at night, frying up drumsticks like I was on some secret mission. My wife would smell the oil and shout, "Paul, if you die from grease, I'm not paying for the funeral." She was half joking, half serious. When I finally stopped eating it, I thought I'd never feel satisfied again. But guess what? Oven-baked chicken, seasoned just right, hits the spot without leaving you feeling like a clogged drain pipe. Who knew? Red meat, I had to fight this one the hardest. My generation grew up believing a man wasn't a man unless he ate steak. A big slab of beef meant strength, power, success. But what good is power if you're too sick to enjoy it? I lost more friends than I can count to heart disease, and most of them love steak more than they love their own health. And trust me, the hospital food doesn't come with ribeye. Once you're in there, it's over. And fast food? Friend, let me tell you a joke. When I was younger, fast food was a treat. Now it's a trap. You ever notice how those burgers look so perfect in the ads? Tall, juicy, overflowing with toppings. But when you open the wrapper, it looks like someone sat on it. And your stomach feels the same way after you eat it. Flattened, heavy, and miserable. At my age, I can't afford to waste the meal on something that gives me nothing but regret. Food has to work for me now, not against me. Now, let's move back to the good guys. I could talk about these all day because they've saved my life more than once. Chicken breast. I started making it a staple. At first, I thought it was boring, but you can do so much with it. Grill it with lemon and herbs, dice it into a salad, stir it into a hearty soup. It's like a blank canvas. You get to add the flavor without all the grease. And the best part? Protein keeps your muscles strong. You know how most seniors start shrinking and losing strength? Not me. I can still carry my groceries in one trip, and you should see the look on the young cashier's face when this 80-year-old man walks out hauling bags like Superman. Turkey. Now this one grew on me. I used to think turkey was only good for Thanksgiving, and even then I only cared about the stuffing. But then I discovered turkey burgers, turkey meatballs, even ground turkey chili. Friend, they taste just as good as beef, and my stomach doesn't punish me afterwards. At family gatherings, I serve turkey meatballs, and no one even realizes they're healthier. That's the best kind of trick, when people enjoy it without even knowing it's good for them. And fish, the mighty fish. I owe so much to salmon and sardines, I should write them love letters. When I added more fish to my diet, I felt sharper. My memory improved, my mood lifted, and even my doctor was surprised with my cholesterol numbers. Now you gotta be careful with fish. Some of them are loaded with mercury, but if you stick to salmon, sardines, and mackerel, you're golden. One time I cooked salmon for dinner, and my granddaughter said, "Grandpa, you cook better than a restaurant." That compliment meant more to me than any steak ever could. And lean pork tenderloin, don't underestimate it. It's flavorful, filling, and doesn't weigh you down. I slice it thin, season it with garlic and rosemary, and roast it until it's tender. When I serve it, people can't believe it's pork. They expect it to be greasy and heavy, but instead, it's light and satisfying. And the vitamins it gives, especially thiamine, help keep me energized. At 80, I'll take all the energy I can get. Friend, if there's one thing I've learned in these 80 years, it's that food is more than just survival. It's connection, it's joy, it's memory. But it can also be the reason you see another sunrise or not. We don't have the same bodies we had at 20 or 30. Back then, we could eat anything and bounce back. But after 60, every bite matters. Every choice either adds time to your clock or takes it away. And listen, this isn't about perfection. I still enjoy a little indulgence now and then. Life's too short to live without joy. But the trick is balance. If 80% of what you eat nourishes your body, then the occasional treat won't kill you. It's when the occasional treat becomes the daily habit that you're digging your own grave with a fork. So my friend, here's my advice. Next time you're at the store, skip the bacon aisle, walk past the fast food counter, and head straight for the chicken, turkey, fish, or lean pork. Your future self will thank you. Your family will thank you. And you'll thank yourself when you wake up in the morning feeling light, strong, and ready for whatever the day brings. And let me close with this thought. Life after 60 isn't about surviving. It's about thriving. And thriving takes choices. If you can start with your plate, you'll notice changes in your body, your mood, your memory, even your outlook on life. Because when you feel good physically, everything else falls into place. And isn't that what we all want? To feel alive, to laugh, to love, and to share moments like this together. So my dear friend, next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself, is this meal adding life to my years or years to my life? If it's both, then you're on the right path. And if you're still here with me, listening to an old man ramble about meat for nearly an hour, then do me a favor, like this video, leave a comment about your favorite healthy meal, and subscribe to the channel. Because these conversations aren't just about food. They're about living better, longer, and stronger, together. And I'd love for you to keep joining me for the journey.